My name is Armin Kasabian. I'm from New York, and I'm here in Cuiabá, where I teach English for Fulbright and Inglés Sin Fronteiras as an English teaching assistant. I'm at the 6-month mark right now. I think being abroad, in particular in Brazil, and working for Fulbright is an opportunity that's once in a lifetime, and everyone who's thinking about it should apply.
I first fell in love with Brazil when I studied abroad 2 years ago in Rio. I just spent one semester at a private university there, and I just was amazed by the welcoming culture, the people, the food. I loved absolutely everything about this country. And so after I graduated, I always knew my goal was to come back to Brazil in any way that I could. And I was really happy when they expanded the Fulbright program, and I got the email that, congratulations, you're going to Brazil. So I just dropped everything that I had planned and had my eyes on Brazil. But I recommend Fulbright for any person. I think there's so many things I've learned this year that I never would have in the States. So it has to be someone who, if you're given free time, you'll make the most of that free time, you know? You'll be creating projects, you'll be sharing your culture with people.
Well, I don't think you have to go to an Ivy League school. I do think you have to have a certain degree of resoluteness and vision, and also have flexibility. So you have to be able to say, I want to go to Brazil to do this project, and you have to be able to see that that project is not going to happen how you think it's going to happen, and you're going to have flexibility. So someone who's motivated, who's really interested in an international experience. I came to Brazil with a lot of expectations, thinking I was going to be on the beach, hanging out, swimming every day. And when I found out I was placed in Cuiabá, which is one of the hottest places in Brazil, if not on the earth, I was a bit surprised to have the opportunity to be able to go to an area that's not necessarily the #1 tourist destination. You get a real authentic experience of Brazil, and that's exactly what I've had here in Cuiabá.
I think you definitely have to be flexible, and you have to just have the attitude where you make the most of everything, Cuiabá, I'm still not used to the heat. I still arrive to work like dripping in sweat, but you just have to laugh at the things that you're not used to, the things that maybe aren't perfect. You gotta just accept it.
Because sometimes things work at a different speed in Brazil and a different tempo. So I try to bring my American tempo, my New York high-pace, high-energy reality, and try to fuse it with the Cuiabá laid-back, day-to-day existence.
So since Fulbright can send you to really any part of Brazil or any part of any country, you really have to be able to make the best of every situation and be flexible, because coming in as a foreigner into a completely different culture, you can't expect the people to change for you. You have to adapt and kind of adopt their culture and their customs into your own lifestyle.
I find that Cuiabá, because it's a city, but it still has a kind of small town feel, I'm able to make a lot of connections with people very easy. Everyone here is very welcoming, probably more welcoming than a large city, just because they don't have as much experience with a lot of tourists. We did have the World Cup here, which put Cuiabá on the map, the global map. But regardless, I feel that I'm of a lot of value here at UFMT.
Community that I feel like I have now has been amazing. You can't walk across campus without running into at least 3 or 4 people that you know. And just some of the opportunities we've had. For example, many people that I meet, they say, wow, you're an American. I've never met an American. And it's incredible that I can have that influence on someone that when they think about America, they now think of, oh, I met that nice girl who talked to me for a little bit. Yeah. Cuiabá is a completely different world than Rio. Not only in terms of like geographic area, Rio is all about the beaches, the mountains. Cuiabá is more the plains, and then we have the Chapada nearby. But I think throughout Brazil, the one thing that unifies them is the people. The people are all very welcoming and very receptive towards Americans no matter where you go in Brazil. So I think that's one thing that unites them. I think this is just an amazing year where we have time and we have resources to share our culture and learn about our culture that we will later use in our lives.
I'm aware our time here is very limited, and it's 9 months. So if you're going to change the world, you got 9 months to do it.
Graduated from college in May, and I've always wanted to travel. I've traveled in South America before. I originally applied to Ecuador, and then I got the invitation to come to Brazil, and I couldn't say no. I mean, I've always been fascinated with Brazilian culture, and I wanted to learn Portuguese, so here I am.
I really like teaching English, and I really like the opportunity to teach English and do research in a new country, and so I said, why not?
Last year I did my Fulbright in Goiânia, Brazil. So Goiânia is a city like 3 hours from Brasilia, and it's a big city. It has like 1 million people. It's known for country music. But if you ask someone in Rio where Goiânia is, they'll say that's not civilization. So that was my sort of experience.
I really do hope I get some better teaching skills, or just more creative, using games, using YouTube. I want to make friends. I know that sounds kind of corny, but I don't want to only hang out with my other co-ECA, but actually really be embedded in our community, and hopefully I can speak some better Portuguese by the time I leave.
Been really welcomed by Brazilians. On the plane down, I was talking to the woman next to me, and she's from Brasilia, and she gave me her name and her number. It's like, if you need anything, if you want any help, if you want a tour, just call me.
Well, for me, I love to travel and see new places. And when I was in Goiânia and there were holidays or free time, I got out of the city. It was cool to hang out in, but I liked other things. So I went to the north, I went to the Amazon, I went to the northeast, where they have Afro-Brazilian culture, where samba was born. I went to Rio 3 times. So just the opportunity to sort of see new things and travel.
I'm really excited to be here. This has been 8 months in the planning, so it's interesting to get an email back in June and to be here right now. I'm like, oh, this is really happening. So I'm really excited. We'll see.
I bring in my background to my class and show my students that the U.S. isn't just the American Pie movie that they saw or whatever, that there's a lot to it. And I think that I'd encourage anyone to apply, really, if they're interested in seeing the world and sort of traveling and working with students.
I haven't had too many expectations because everyone's told me it's so different depending on where you go. I think it's going to be a little nuts at first with adjusting, but I'm looking forward to a fun, very interesting 9 months.
I don't think there's anything quite like this opportunity where you're given money to go abroad, to work a little bit, but also to just live in another country and experience it and sort of, live your life somewhere else outside of where you're from. And I think you learn a lot about yourself through the process.
I'm just really happy to be here.
And we believe that they'll form a network that will enhance both our countries.
It's a great opportunity, really.